Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm actually live right now. So yeah, while we wait on every for you to hop on, do you go by Rob or Robert?
I actually go by Rasul.
Oh,
Actually,
Raful.
yeah, it's a nickname, but that's what I go by.
Oh, Raful. Oh, okay, okay. I'm like, wait a second. You're his. The I'm looking at the contact. Like, no, it didn't say that at all. It didn't say that at all. Now, what's MC? He has a Robert Gorman MC. What's that mean? Master Commander?
Hmm, I have no idea.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Master Claims Adjuster, Master Class, maybe. Let me see how to stop this. I got the timer going, but yeah. So we got So we're going to be speaking to you. I want to know everything about you, how you got started. I want to know add to stream, add you to stream. We got it.
There we go. Now,
All right, fantastic.
all right, I'm gonna hang up the phone.
I got it. Already hung up. Good, 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 Rasul. This is going to be so different than we've ever had it before. Because if you're looking at the screen, look, I can put up comments like real quick. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So you could just read the questions as they go, which is going to be real cool.
Okay.
Where do you live? Start with that. Where do you live?
I
And if
live
you're watching
just.
this, one second, Russell, real quick. Let me set the room before we jump right in. I'm very excited. Hi, everybody. My name is Abahi, and I am a claims adjuster. If I can help you make money in this very lucrative industry, would you let me? Tonight, we are talking to Rasul. He is a claims adjuster that went from working catastrophes to working dailies, and I think he did it in a very short time frame, which is why I have him on here. And also, I'm going to talk to him about how he got to into the industry. Just a lot of information I'm going to give you all so that you can kind of move on to that next step. We just entered hurricane season, so we're very excited. So, Rasul, tell us, like, are you working right now, and where are you located?
I am working. I'm working doing daily claims in South Florida. I live just outside of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, I drove. I was in Miami 2 weekends ago, and I drove from Miami to Fort Lauderdale, but it was during rush hour.
Ooh.
So it was okay though. I mean, it was like an hour. It was an hour, but we went for my mom's birthday. On the way back, a lot less traffic. I was enjoying the drive so much, but I couldn't really drive it like I wanted to because my mom was in the car. You can't go
Right.
to MPHs that you really want to. So
Right.
I dropped her off at the hotel. I went right back to Fort Lauderdale and then drove right back just to try
Okay.
to speed around. Yeah, it was a really good time. I enjoy speeding. That's my hobby. But Rasul, so tell us what did you do before you were adjusting? Like how did you find out about adjusting?
Well, I was a police officer in the city of Chester, Pennsylvania. That's just 5 minutes south of Philadelphia. And I retired from there. Well, while I was working, that was one of the after retirement jobs that a lot of these veterans talked about. So I did hear about it, and that's all. Just heard about it. Then I retired, and then I've been retired 8 years now. So 7 years in, I'm riding up to North Carolina, South Carolina with Ashley, and I know him from Facebook, one of my Facebook riding groups. And I kept asking myself, now, how does he get this much time to do all this riding like he does? And he has all the latest gadgets that goes on the motorcycle. And
Okay.
I'm saying, I see him all the time somewhere doing something on a bike.
Uh-huh.
How does he do it? So we became friends.
Okay.
And I broke that golden rule, and I ended up asking him, so what do you do? How do you do it?
Nice.
He said he was a claims adjuster, and he explained it to me. And I said, I'm going back into the workforce in January, and
Uh-huh.
that's what I want to do.
Mhm.
So he was willing to explain everything and walk me through it step by step.
Mhm.
You don't get that often.
Mhm.
So that's how I got into it.
So tell me about your like first opportunity to actually like see what claims adjusters do. Did you ever have a claim before becoming a claims adjuster, or was your first experience with claims actually as like shadowing, I guess, Ashley?
No, and no.
Okay.
I He referred me to the school to get my license, my state Florida license, insurance
Mhm.
adjuster, and I immediately jumped on that.
Mhm.
And he referred me to a IA firm, a firm that supplies insurance adjusters.
Okay.
They were given free training at the time,
Okay.
and they were one of the few who would deploy a newbie. Most companies
when was this? Like what year?
last year, last year, this
Okay. Oh,
was
okay.
in April, my when I went out to Mobile to do that 10-day school.
Okay.
And
So let's backtrack. So lived in Philly essentially, and
that
then
was years ago,
okay. So then you retired and you went
to
down to
Florida.
Florida,
Yes.
as northern retirees do.
Yes.
Snowbird down, right? Okay. So good. So then some time goes by. You're meeting Ashley. From meeting Ashley, you got curious about what you do, and he directed you to take your exam, and you took your exam. You're coursing your exam in 2020.
Yes.
March. It started in like I guess you had your license process started in March, or was it April?
I started in um, January, got my license in February.
Okay.
And the next class that was scheduled that I could go and get some formal training was in May.
Oh, like training as to be a claims adjuster or to get the license?
To be a claims adjuster, so I thought.
What do you mean, thought?
I thought it was going to be 10 days of formal training. It was 10 days of familiarization,
Mm-hmm.
no hands on, and no, this is why we do what this does that because it's connected to that. None of those things that you learn, you remember, you
Mm-hmm.
understand why, and
Mm-hmm.
you're able to do it more smoothly.
Okay.
None of that, just familiarization.
Okay. So if I'm understanding correctly, it was once you got the license, you started going to different companies to apply with them, and they did the training. It was a 10-day training with them. Where was that training?
That was in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, so you went to Alabama, you stayed about 2 weeks,
Yes,
and then you're saying that the training for you, okay, so let's say you went to the training. Did you find an opportunity to work with that company?
I did. I
Okay.
did. That's
Tell us
one of the.
about that. How did it go, how long between the 10-day training and when you got an opportunity to start working?
Okay, that's one of the few companies that hires newbies.
Okay.
That's why he referred me there
Mhm.
because I was so eager to get into the industry.
Mhm.
After that class, mid May, My first deployment was mid-July.
Okay.
That's when we were, I think that was the second storm when in our list of five that was out to Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, I see.
And I went out there not knowing nothing.
Mm-hmm. And how did it go for you? Tell me about what was like. What was some of the pay like for you there?
Well, since I didn't know anything, I wasn't able to close the claims as fast as the ones who had more knowledge or was more experienced or more seasoned.
Okay.
So it took me 30 days to close 20 claims,
Uh,
which is definitely a beginner.
Okay, right. And so, just so for people who are watching this, typically some adjusters, some great experienced adjusters, can close 5 claims a day. So, if
Yes.
you're doing less than a claim a day, that's going to be red flags for your team management. So, if
Yes.
anybody, if you're watching, comment. We are live using what's this called, StreamYard, but you can comment. I can actually show your comments live here on screen. I want you to be able to ask us any questions about getting started in the industry, and listen in on the steps that Rasul is taking so that you can also maybe duplicate those things. But so far, we've learned that he's a retired officer of the law from Philly, and took the Florida exam. After passing the exam, studied for about, I guess, studied in January, got the license in February, and then was invited to actually take training with a company that deploys new adjusters. So he's telling us about his first storm in Lafayette. So when you got there, what was the pay for you?
Well, I didn't know anything about pay. I was there for experience.
Okay.
Um, it took about 3 to 4 weeks for, no, with that company, they paid you every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So you got paid uh, 2 training days when I first got out there, more familiarization,
Hmm.
and a couple claims. I'm believing that it was about $2,000 for the first 2 weeks there.
Okay.
That was more than I was expecting, but
Okay.
it looks good. It
Hmm.
looked good.
And you had did they assist with any of your travel or accommodations?
No, that's on you. You
Okay.
have to make sure you have enough room on your credit card to cover that. That's
Okay.
part of employment.
Where did
But
you stay?
I stayed in my truck, and I
Okay.
have a two-seater pickup truck.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Not the kind that has that window where you can't put the seats back, right?
It's right. There's no back seat.
No back seat. Is it
No.
like the window is right up against the? Whoa. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. And you're not the first that I've heard done that, where you just, I mean, because hotel is limited, housing is limited,
Correct.
funds are limited. I have had many people tell me they stayed in their cars their first
Correct.
deployment.
Right. There was no lodging. This was the big storm that hit Lake Charles. And they didn't send me in the heart of the storm where the buildings were demolished. They put me way on the perimeter where your average person got hurricane damage to their roof and some of their interior. So for me to try to get uh, lodging, wow, 3 hours away. From
Yeah.
Lafayette, you were up in Mississippi, and there's no way I could drive 3 hours back down to my claims back and forth.
Okay. Got it.
So,
Got it. Yeah, the time on the road would be tough. So I mean, tell me what was it like going from arriving on site, you got the phone call, you got what, 24 or 72 hours to get there. And then
48.
you 48 hours to get there. You arrived, did you have equipment? Did they give you equipment? What was that experience transition from being there and then actually going to your first inspection?
Okay. For me, like I said, I got familiarization, no formal training. So they just dropped me in. You get 48 hours to get there from the call to deployment or text. So I got on the road and I went out to Lafayette. They just told me to head out towards Louisiana.
Okay.
And I was saying, well, where? Where do I go? Where do I find lodging? And they said, well, there's no one out there right now. The storm just ended. So hopefully someone will be on the ground by the time you get there. Well,
Okay.
no, I was the only one out there in Louisiana that was trying to do claims. So as soon as I got out there, they started giving me claims in New Orleans, Lafayette, and Baton Rouge. That's a whole lot of mileage. They
Uh-huh.
were just throwing me whatever they had. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know how to inspect the home.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I they gave me an assistant who would call on the phone and set up my inspections. I didn't know
Okay.
how to do that either. So
Okay.
he would tell me, well, you had to have an inspection this day. You have one in the morning this day, one in the afternoon. And I just started going on inspections
Okay.
and doing what I thought was right. No, no, that wasn't.
Okay. So then when did Ashley maybe come back? Ashley has joined us. It's good to really see you again, and
It's a
always a
pleasure to
pleasure.
be here.
He's been with me
Absolutely.
for the last two Sunday nights, and we are just trying to figure out how everybody can get the right training, because listening even to Rasul's experience, it can be traumatizing. He's not
That's
the first
correct.
to tell me that you're up, I mean, incredible hours. I mean, there's a learning curve. There's definitely a learning curve, but the difference is that a lot of adjusters have a hard time going from deployments to dailies. So really, I want to kind of bring that knowledge and how linking up with Ashley for you allowed you to transition from those deployments to those dailies. So when you were only closing 20 claims that month, like what happened? How long did that deployment last for you?
It was about 35 days. So I closed 20
Okay.
claims in 35 days. And
Okay.
the question I see is, what equipment did I receive? None.
Hmm.
You supply your own equipment. They
All
just
of
tell you
it?
what you need. But
That's great.
the pay is so great until you don't complain about paying for your lodging, your tools, or your transportation.
But what was that
Okay?
like? What was that? But I mean, you didn't get a laptop, a printer, ladder. You didn't get
You
chalk, I mean,
are a
paper.
you are a independent adjuster. You
Uh-huh.
are your own company. You provide everything.
That's correct.
And again, the pay is so great until it covers all those things. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of why people want to get into this industry.
Right, right. What was the rate like for you at that time?
Since it was a cat, the base rate was, I think it was 425, and from 0 to 5,000 was 525. From 5,000 to 10,000 was something like 700. I'm saying thousand, $700. From that 425, $425 to the 525 to about seven. So you get up to $20,000 for a claim, and you'll get $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking a hurricane, it is very easy to get $20,000 worth of damage done to your house.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
the claims coming in for $900, that's good.
Yeah.
$1,200, that's great. The better you are, and they see it because they're watching you work over the computer, they'll give you bigger claims.
Okay.
So you can jump from $1,200 to $2,000 per claim if you are seasoned like my friend Ashley.
Yeah, and speaking of Ashley, that's perfect. I wanted to actually ask him, how do you transition from doing 20 claims a month to doing 20 claims maybe in a week? Because I know there's opportunity to close 5 claims a day. But even if
That's
you do
correct.
4 claims or 5 claims a day plus your paper day, I mean, tell us what's that like? What's that transition like? How does somebody get there?
Who are you asking?
And you're
Ashley.
asking,
Ashley, thanks.
okay. Now, to close 5 claims a day, that definitely is a stretch, but doable. For you to
Okay.
do 100 claims in 30 days, like I said, it takes 3.5 claims a day. Now, in our class, I'll be sharing
Oh, Ashley might be breaking up a little bit. We could get your laptop in there if you want.
I think I just switched off my mic.
Okay.
But can you hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you and we can see you. It's
Can you
great.
guys hear
Thank
me?
you. Yep.
Give me a second. Let me just reboot my mic here.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me okay this way?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you. Yep.
But is it better for me to put the earbuds back in?
Let's
Okay,
see.
there I go. I'm back. All right. That's a little good. So I got a little notification on the phone. Now, for you to be able to do what I mentioned, is what I'll be sharing in the proficiency class. There's a method to the madness, and I'm just going to share a little tidbit without giving away the treasure pot. Um, one of those methods is that I would do 6 inspections for the first 2 days, and the third day will be paperwork day. So I keep that up for 30 days. That's 100 claims, and on average, it turns out to be 3.5 claims per day.
Wait, say that again. On
Can you guys
your
hear
when
me?
you Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm gonna make sure I get that right.
Okay,
So on the first, so at the
right.
start of a deployment, you do inspections the first two
That's
days,
correct.
and then the next
So
six
first two
days,
days,
what do
I'm
you
doing
do?
6 inspections. That's no. First 2 days, 6 inspections per day. Third day is
Oh,
paperwork day. I'm writing claims all
oh,
day, the third day. So that's one
oh,
of the methods to my madness. You
oh.
understand what I'm saying?
I
And
see.
in
So you're doing
between
a
the
2-1.
first 2 days, I write up what I can.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my methods. I don't want to give away the farm in this video, but
Yeah,
that is part of the things that we will be teaching in the efficiency and proficiency course, how to get
yeah,
it done. Now, there's a lot of other things that has to fall into place for you to be able to do 100 claims. First of all, you got to have 100 claims issued to you. First of all,
okay.
so on a typical, let me know if you can't hear me. So I'm just gonna flow it because it sounds like my audio is going in and out because
It's
I
okay.
have things that are going off in the background. So when you first go out to a claim, they may issue you 30 claims. The quicker you can get to the 30 claims, they issue 30 more
Okay.
or 15 more. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
So you're
And
actually, yeah,
in the
because you're actually
deployment that I
competing,
mentioned, they
right?
issued me.
Because you're actually
That's
competing
correct.
too,
It's
right?
not
Because you're
competing. It's
competing
for
against.
you're being reward. You're being rewarded for your performance. It's not really
Mm,
competition,
okay.
because they want more claims turned in and submitted. So if they see a
Mm-hmm.
guy running and burning and turning in accurate quality claims, who do you think they're going to give the next batch to?
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Would it be
mm-hmm.
10, 15, 20, 30, 50 more claims? You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I think the least claims I got right out the gate was 35. And when I was
Okay.
in doing Laura, they gave me 50 in the beginning, and then when I burned them, they gave me another 50. And so
Okay.
there's a lot of things that has to fall in place for you to do 100 claims. They're not going to just give a new adjuster 100 claims. But if you are proficient and efficient, you're running and burning, and you're turning in quality, not so much how fast it has to be quality. You're
Mm-hmm.
turning in quality work, they will give you more claims. So they're rewarding your performance because their incentive is to get more claims submitted for review. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
So
okay.
But
So,
we will give you the tool that you need to get there, to be
hmm,
able to do 100 claims in 30 days. We will
wow.
provide you with the skill and the learning to get there.
Wow, that's amazing. 100 claims. Uh, so I think too, what I was gonna say is when you first go out as a to a deployment, you're so eager, and maybe this will happen to you, Russell. Like trying to do multiple inspections. I think per day without that genuine paper day to close those claims and not just really try to run inspection day after inspection day. I know that people get hit with that, and then also relying on a trainer in at the the war rooms. So you have to rely on them to be able to work with you to make sure you get that claim closed. So I mean, if somebody's new, I mean, and Rasul, you said you went to training. How does somebody catch up? Oh wait, hold on, Rasul, you're muted. Hold on just a second. Let me unmute you.
Hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I was out there almost 15 days without a war room and without any contact with anybody. So I was doing a lot of inspections and trying to figure it out as I went, and I did not know what I was doing. So it
Hmm.
was horrible.
Okay.
But my assistant that I had for 4 days, he did set me up so that I would have a paper day. Work 2 days and a paper day. Work 2 days and a paper day. But I didn't. I did not catch up. I never did catch up.
Hmm.
Probably 15 days later, and 20 claims messed up. I lost 25 pounds. Okay, I lost 25 pounds. But I just steady as you go. I continue to work,
Okay.
and when I left there, I knew nothing. But the claims did get closed. I did get paid,
Okay.
and it was awful.
Okay. So after that, you return back home.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened next?
They deployed me a month and a half later
A
out
month and a
to,
half later. Okay.
we had five hurricanes, and
Yeah.
a couple of them hit the same area.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking because I hear from, and if you're listening to this, comment below. Rasul went from being unlicensed in January to on his second deployment by the middle of the year.
In
So
August,
in August. So I'm just
September.
trying to figure out for those folks who are even have the license lapse, like they have to do their CE credits and they've never worked a deployment. What was Rasul doing? So the second deployment came around. How was that? Where was it?
Well, it was in New Orleans. That's 2 hours drive, hour and a half drive from Lafayette, Louisiana. And I had no experience. I forgot to tell you, the person who took me out on a roof and helped me to measure a roof was Ashley. I drove three
Oh, that's
hours
nice.
from Lafayette up to Natchitoches, Louisiana, because there was no one out there at the hurricane but me. And he
Okay.
took me up on a roof and showed me how to measure a roof. That is something that you have to learn how to do when you are trying to repair someone's roof, trying to do an estimate.
Hmm.
But what was your question? I
Why
kind of
not
lost
use
it.
Eagle View for those measurements?
Do you remember when I said I knew nothing?
Oh.
So I heard of Eagle View,
Hmm.
but it was not on my computer. They
Uh-huh.
didn't put it on there. I didn't know how to go in and access it if it was there. I
Hmm.
did get familiarized with the word Eagle View,
Okay.
familiarization. So yes, I sketched a whole lot of rules.
Okay.
Wrong,
Gotcha.
but it took a whole lot of time. It was, whew, yes, I suffered through it.
Ashley, so tell us, Ashley, how do you instruct someone on measuring the roof? I mean, you're already trying to get your roof legs because you're shaking and wobbling a little bit from the height. I mean, how do you? What's the best way to measure a roof if you don't know what you're doing?
Okay. Well, let me see if I can share the screen on my computer.
Yeah, see if you
Trying to think of a way to
can.
show that real time. Um,
Yeah.
I tell you what. Here's what I'll do for you.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I'm going to display this, but
Okay.
I will do my best. I'll do my best. All right.
Uh-oh, we got some live
So,
action X's and O's coming.
all right. So, can you see this paper pretty good?
Hold on, let's see. We can. Yeah, we
Um,
can. But you can't do
okay.
too much
I'm
movement.
going to think of a way. Okay. Um, I'm going to pretend that I'm looking at the roof. I'm going to
Okay.
draw the ridge of a roof first. All right. That'll be the ridge. Let's
Okay,
say
now in
it's a
that
hip
line we
roof,
cannot see. You have a
right?
marker? You have a marker maybe you could
Uh,
use? It's too thin.
okay.
Here, actually, use
I
mine.
have a permanent
Right.
marker here. All right. Let's say this is the hip roof. All right.
Okay, yep, that's
Can you
better.
see that now?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, let's say this is the hip roof. That's
Uh-huh.
the ridge of the hip, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
so we draw the ridge on the other hips
Okay, almost like
when
a
we connect the roof.
hangman. Okay.
Okay, so there's
Mm.
your ridge. There's the ridge on the two hips, and that's the roof. So you'd measure here. You would measure. You would give a measurement here. Measure from the top of your ridge to the bottom of your eave. All right, you put the measurement there. You'll measure the ridge on the hip. You add your measurement, whatever that may be. You measure the ridge. Let's say it's 43 feet. Okay, on a typical modern day home with a hip roof, all the other measurements will be the same. And you also want to measure here as well. You want to get the measurement from the ridge to the eave. All these other three, this eave here is going to be the same as that eave. Let's say that's 60 feet. On a modern roof, this is going to be 60 feet as well. You don't have to measure all of them unless it is visibly different. Are
Mm-hmm.
you following me so far?
I am. Yeah, I got it. Well, I've been up
So
on
when you go to
roofs. I
sketch,
mean, my shirt says the roof girl for a reason.
right, right. So this is how I would teach. This is the basic teaching of drawing a roof and what measurements that you need to get. You need to get the ridge, the distance
Mm-hmm.
from the ridge to the eaves, and the distance from this side of the roof to that side of the roof. And then you
Right.
can put together a drawing and symbolio exactamente. Now
Right.
you may have roofs that are a bit more complicated. Let's say you have a home that an extension was added on.
Mm-hmm.
So the ridge lines don't match each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have a different, so I would draw the two ridges. This is on the main home. This is on the addition. So I would draw the first roof first.
Yeah.
All right, this will be two gable roofs, and then the second roof. You see how that comes together?
Yeah.
So you have the main roof, you have the second roof. It's the same concept. Measure the ridge.
Right.
Let's say it's 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You measure the ridge 30 feet, and you measure the rake. On the gable roof, now this is called a rake, no longer an eave on the gable roof. You follow me?
Uh-huh.
They're basically
Yep.
the same thing, but a rake is the corner of a gabled roof. You don't have
I
rakes
see.
on hip roofs. So you'll
Okay.
measure the rake, you measure the distance from the ridge to the eave. And then you do the same, and there you go. You have a home with two roofs on two different levels. And you can't forget your pitch gauge because that changes the quantity of your shingles substantially. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When you have a 612 roof and a 212 roof, oh, you're talking about on a 212 roof is going to be more shingles, which you really
Uh-huh.
don't put. Let me say 312 roof because when we come from 0 to 2, it has to be rolled roofing. You can't even put shingles on the 2 to 12
Right.
pitch
Of
roof.
course. Right. Of course.
You understand?
Okay.
According
Yeah.
to the codes of municipalities. But those are some basic things, and that was the first way that I showed Rasul how to sketch. But of course, I can't do much on this call. But these are some of the things that you will learn when you take our course.
Okay. Good.
And you
Good.
don't have to
Absolutely.
be a scholar to do it.
So we got Facebook users. They're saying, okay, they just finished the class, but studying for the test now. I know one thing for sure. Ashley is going to be doing some training coming up. They set the dates, so I think we can officially announce the dates for that training. And he wants licensed adjusters
That's correct.
though. You want to be licensed so you can actually legally be able to come to an inspection. So that's on you guys. If you do have any questions, we'll stick around for another 5 minutes, up till 8:15 Eastern. Again, we've been here the last 2 weeks learning about Ashley and his wanting to help adjusters. As we've been talking and planning for you all, his main goal is just just to be able to help. And him and his two colleagues are out there actually just helping hundreds of adjusters. And Rasul was one of them. And we'll bring him back again to talk more about what the program with Ashley was like, or really with just the training, because really it wasn't a program at the time. It was really just two people knowing each
That's
other
correct.
and one helping the other. And that's how Ashley wants to keep
Yes.
with you. And it's especially nice for you adjusters who live in Florida, who really have been wanting an opportunity to train closer to home, so that you're not always having to travel up to Mobile or traveling up to Atlanta to actually come and only train. And the training's going to be for 6 days, and he's talking about job shadowing. And for many of you who start early, you'll also have an opportunity to start your 40-hour course or any course that you need to actually get the license. So we're actually going to throw that in. But right now, we're just going to talk about the dates. When are the dates for the training? Ashley?
Right now, we're scheduled for July 12th through the 17th here in Orlando,
Okay.
Florida.
Gotcha.
Yes,
So
can you hear me?
less than a month away. Yeah, we can actually.
Right
Yep.
now, we're scheduled.
So
There's a little
6-day
delay there.
training from July 12th
That's correct.
through the 18th. And this is taking place. He said, guys, listen,
Through
no
the
matter what
17th.
happens, 17th through the 17th. So no matter what happens, the opportunity is going to be there for you. No, despite if a deployment comes or a hurricane comes, they are committed to this training down in Florida. They're going to have a facility there. They're also going to set up actual inspection. So you'll be able to go out. You'll be able to actually do some job shadowing, see what it's like to be in the field. That way, you don't, when you actually get out there on your own, you already know how to measure a roof. You know what tools that you're going to need too. I know I had to have bought ladders. Rasul even said, he didn't know. So I'm sure he was at Home Depot left and right trying to figure those things out. So any final words, guys, before, because next week we'll talk about exactly what's going to be involved in the training and how people can get started. But anything you want to leave the audience with?
Well, I'll start since he hesitated. Well,
I want
my
to
main
add that
goal,
you need a license. Go ahead.
my main goal here is to get with new adjusters and train them the things that I wasn't trained, so they do not have to suffer once they get their first deployment. Okay.
Sounds good.
So that makes life so much easier if someone teaches you the basics.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about you, Ashley? What final words do you have?
Well, what I would say is that you don't need a license to come to the training. You would need a license to
Okay.
go on a scope. So
I
even if you
see.
don't have your license yet, you can still come for the week of training. But it's just the
Okay.
scope you won't be able to attend.
Okay. Got it. Which so is still super valuable
All right?
to be able to attend and get that training underneath your belt, especially for the estimating software, because every single claim is going to need an estimate unless this is denial. So that's
And the
awesome.
scope is, what's the
Yeah,
scope, Ashley?
yeah. Tell them, Ashley. Leave them with the scope, and we'll talk about it more. Leave them with the teaser for what a scope is and what they'll experience, and we'll talk about it more next Sunday.
Okay. Well, what you will be doing, you'll be going out and performing a live scope. You'll be watching me perform it. I'll be giving off my measurements and everything. You're going to introduce yourself to the insured, and we're going to walk from stepping out of your car to explaining the claim to the insured as you leave and setting the expectation for the insured. So we're going to go through everything. We're going to do the exterior inspection. We're going to do the roofing inspection. If they have other structures, we're going to inspect that. If it's a wind claim, if it's and then of course we're going to inspect the interior of the home. If it's a water claim, we're gonna do everything. If we have to run ITEL reports, depending on the claim, I'm going to show them how to run an ITEL report, how to run a hover report, so that you don't have to get up and measure the roof. You can just run the digital software, and they will email you the roof, a digital copy that you can drop in either into Exactimate if it's an Exactimate claim, or if it's Symbility. You'll be able to just drop that digital roof measurement right into your claim, and you won't even have to sketch it. So
Perfect.
what we have to offer is both Exactimate and Symbility.
Nice, nice, nice. That sounds like a super complete training, and I think that just reminded me of the video, your roofing training video, which we might want to preview a minute or two of that next week. So for everybody watching, come back next week. Um, Someone's saying they can't come to training that week, but we will probably look at something later in the future. But you definitely also want to get involved with these guys if you're not even available for that 6-day training, because there are online videos, and then just to be able to have a mentor or somebody to call is going to be excellent. But come back next week. We'll talk deeper into scoping and the other parts of the training, and how you all can get going and get started so that you too can be working just like Rasul, from dailies through from deployments to dailies. Okay. All right. Fantastic. See you guys next week.